So welcome once again, Mr. Purvis.
Thank you. Hello.
How you going?
Plenty sorted. Jeez. Hair and makeup were late today, so you have to excuse me.
That's all right. You've had a busy day.
Yeah. I've already been on. I've already put some videos up, done some editing, done some Skype or some Zooming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, no, not at all. No. And then when I'm done, I've got to go build the bus. What's sleep, right? Who needs sleep?
Mate, sleep. Wow. What is that?
Oh, well, you'd know. Yeah, exactly right. You haven't had any for 3 months now.
Yeah, it's man, me and the missus are pretty knackered today, bro. But you got to get on with it. I've been in the workshop, back in the workshop, mate. I'm trying to get the guitars cranking, and I've got another one about finished. It's a full silky oak, so it's about to go into the shop up here on the Sunshine Coast.
Nice.
Yeah, mate, just no rest for the wicked, eh? You got to keep charging.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. They want us to stop, don't they? They want us to stop and sit down on our asses and watch Netflix and
I know.
Isolate and all this kind of stuff. So we know whatever they want, right? You do the opposite.
That's it, bro. I was just thinking that today, actually, about this just kids these days, mate. How I just see, the screens, little kids in shopping. I don't go to shopping centers, but let's just say I've seen it in coffee shops and shit like that, where little kids have got screens, and they just sit there and just shut them up. They're watching a screen. And we vowed to, like no screens for this little one. And already, mate, the screen, if I occasionally have Netflix on or something like that, just to see what they're up to. And mate, her little head, yeah, they're on full age. Yeah. It sucks them in like a vacuum.
Yeah, it's created that way. I mean, and it's really all directed at children, isn't it? Because that's all they need to mind watch. Once you're an adult, you've already had the mind watching, so you're watching it. So that's all. Man. I mean, the whole children thing. I was just watching Fall of the Cambell, 18, I think it was, and they were talking about the nursing homes and what went on last year and everything. But she was kind of saying, all these kids, right? Yeah. These little kids that were asking to see their grandparents and that, and were being basically told, that's mean of you. Do you want to kill your grandparents? And like, they were basically being shamed. And like, if they wanted to play with their friends and all this, it was like, you're trying to spread disease. So, I mean, fuck, the damage that's gone on. It's just unbelievable. I think we're going to see a lot of issues.
Fucking hell, man. And just I sort of didn't mind the masks, mate, because who was on your side. Now you walk around the street, no one's got the mask on, and mate, no, I know 90% of them are, Jabberwocky, but
yeah, I think we need tattoos. Back in the old days in Frisia, in the Frisian culture, yeah, they used to tattoo like traders and that. They'd put a tattoo on their forehead, like a T, if you were a trader. So so I reckon they should all have a big V on their forehead so that we know to avoid them. If they're so proud about it, I mean, come on, it's the ultimate virtue signal. I think we could get it going.
Yeah,
we could add a few fake memes with V's.
Make it cool.
This is the way to go. Let people know what side you're on, and they'll do it themselves.
Yeah.
Shit, they jabbed themselves, didn't they? So
fucking hell, mate. It's mind. It's baffling.
Do you feel like we're getting to the ends of this,
mate? I don't know, mate. I think you're just going to keep running as long as they can drain it out. But they seem to have swept the. I think they've swept a lot of it under the rug, and they're trying to move forward a little bit, and
trying to make people forget.
Yeah, and now, mate, I just saw like a post. Someone sent me a post of like in Sydney, there was a hospital that had over 230 cases of like chest pains yesterday. People are going.
And did you hear Taylor what's his surname? The drummer from Foo Fighters.
Oh, yep.
50 years old.
Gone. The wind.
Gone.
Yeah.
You know, like fit as like a drummer who could drum, 2-3 hour concerts. Like that's literally like a marathon runner. Healthy as, and the thing is, as soon as it came out, they were all just saying, oh, overdose, drugs. Oh, he had drug issues. Oh, he had problems.
Of course.
And you never hear that, do you? When it's a rock star and something like that happens, it's always like, oh no, no, it was something else. It definitely wasn't, drugs. No. But now they're like, oh, it's definitely drugs.
Definitely they're drugs.
Because they don't want people asking, oh, really? What? And then it was a heart attack that came out. Like they wouldn't say anything for like the first day and a half or so, and then they went, okay, it was a heart attack. So I mean, another one, right? Warney now.
Yeah. And let's not forget it. Like hundreds of the FIFA soccer players dropping on the fields,
and college students and other sports stars. This is going to come out and going to be bad, man.
I mean, because sorry.
Think of the shame that some of these people are going to go through that were going along with the narrative and pushing, and these, Karens and Darrens out there yelling at people. When this truth comes out, most of them aren't going to be able to deal with it.
That's it, mate. What about the Pfizer releasing the 75 years worth of life-threatening ailments?
Projected data and stuff, yeah.
And
no news time.
Yeah. And mate, it's funny, I sent my mother that and that afternoon I heard her talking to my daughter in the other room, and she said to my daughter, like, is your father home? And my daughter lied and goes, no, he's down he's gone to the shops. She goes, oh, good, I don't want to speak to you if he's in the house. This is my mum.
Because you sent her that verified scientific data.
Yep.
So this is the thing. It's just cognitive dissonance, right? But it's interesting because now we've got, can we even say it? That country next to Russia. Oh God, can I even say Russia? Who knows? I mean, when you look into history,
you just say who do you want to rush?
Rush, yeah, that girl, her,
Rush her.
Rush her along. She was taking a long time in the queue. Yeah, rush her. Yeah. I mean, the U country. It's basically it's the start of all this stuff. If you look into history and you look into the Khazarians, the U country, it used to be called Khazaria. And the Khazarians are the people who, they're the Satanists, right? And they were the ones who got told they had to stop doing that and they had to convert to Christianity, Muslim or Islam or Judaism. And they chose Judaism, and then they ran away. Basically, the king didn't change, and so they ended up getting run out of their country, and they went to the Ashken, what are they called? Was it the Caucasus Mountains? But they became the Ashkenazis.
Okay.
And and then they became, and they're like the false Judaism people. Can I say that? So this whole thing that's going on now is literally, it's the core. It's where all this crap started. Like years ago, it basically started in Duma close by, and then they got kicked out early and went to Khazaria, which is now, where those Ukraine girls that really knocked me out live.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty interesting what's happening. I think we're getting close to something.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, what's going on in your head, bro?
It's too much of a coincidence that there is now that it's the whole world's focused on the Ukraine, that Biden and all these people are quite obviously crapping themselves. They don't know what to do. They're trying to do their best to just, vilify, Putin and those Rushy people.
Yeah.
So there's a bigger story going on behind there. I mean, there's a mass, obviously, Putin, everything we know about Putin is given to us by the mainstream, so that's clearly right. What do we
Yes,
just say? They tell you one thing, believe the opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you put that on this whole situation, it's really and it was Russia in the beginning, back in the 600s, who kicked these people out and basically killed Khazaria. It's the same thing happening again, right? And it's the same forces against the same. It's good against evil. That's the evil stronghold. So I think we've got to be close, right? If that's where it's all happening, that's pretty much the head of the snake, really.
And
I
mate,
think.
yeah. So what? Okay, so if that is the case, then what next, bro? You know.
Well, I think what next is these people are getting taken down, because the other thing it's done is, we know, right? Biden's family and his, Hunter. And now it's come out, all the kids of all these senators, they've all got these, not jobs, but these, contracts, right, with big companies in the Ukraine. They're all getting like tens of $1 million a year for nothing.
Wow.
Like literally for nothing.
Yeah.
And Hunter Biden did this deal, and he was supposed to do so much stuff and, work and that. And basically they paid him and he just never did anything. Just that was it. Just took their money and just never spoke to them again. And it was like $10 million or something. So they're all so heavily invested in there, and it's clearly where all their nefarious stuff's going on, right? Because Ukraine's one of those countries, that you never really hear about what's going on there. It's hard to, it's pretty closed off. And we know with all the attacks, we know that was chemical making facilities and God knows what else. So it seems to me like they're being taken down at the core, because I think that's where their money was coming from. I think they've been
chopped off at the legs, bro.
I think that their money's been, since, for the last year, since this new government, so they call it in the USA government, is in, like they're spending all this money, but there's just something that doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know what it is, but they don't seem to have control of the money, of the actual finance of the country. I don't know what it is exactly. It's just little things that I've been picking up. And so now I'm thinking that they were just funding themselves from the Ukraine.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's the center of obviously all the trafficking they do and all the other stuff. And so if that's now getting attacked and getting cut off, exactly right. I think we're going to be very close to something happening. Because it's a fight against good against evil, all this stuff on the telly about, they're all separate incidences and that. It's all, we know that's all a story. It's all the same people that, like I said, that it was back in the days of Sumer. It's the same group of people. And their biggest scam is to just say it's someone else, right? The Khazarians literally, they started, they'd people that came through their country that were, especially that were sort of, of royalty or upper class or whatever, they'd just murder them and steal their identity and then go out and do business deals, get money, and just take off and just leave the blame with the person they killed. And this is how they started. So that's what they do, is they get us to believe that they're not one unit and that they're different people. That's why look at this, we've seen that this gaslighting, it's always someone else, right? No, it's them. And so, yeah, I think that literally it's the same people who started this, and it's in the country it started in. So, to me, that brings big things. I think big things are going to start happening. I think they are happening.
Yeah.
We'll hear about them soon.
Well, mate, like how long, when things are released, like we said about that info, the 75 years of data that that the Supreme Court made this pharmaceutical company release, how long can the mainstream keep this information from the idiots? I've even said to open-minded people about it, mate, that I'm like, how about that data that was released? And they go, what? I'm like, fuck, there's 75 years worth of data. And they're like, what? What did it? Like, fuck, God, okay. Yeah, it did.
It did, yeah. Well, there's not a whisper, obviously, on the mainstream. And also, we have to realize that you know, most social media and even a lot of, you know, alternative platforms, they're just mainstream media. Like they're so censored now. Like we know this, right? It's so censored that even so, unless people are going off onto, you know, different platforms, you know, like Rumble and stuff, and
yeah,
you know, Telegram, they're just not going to see it. They're just not going to see it. You know, it's like shadow banning. You know, it's like, you know, it's like we do. We put out videos, right? And if YouTube don't like them, they just don't show them to anyone.
no, that's it, man. They're really onto me, the buggers. It was, you know, like we said
Already,
last night.
yeah.
You know, I don't even have many subs, mate. I'd love to know how many subs I really had because.
Oh, so would I. I would.
Know, yeah, I mean, imagine
I know
yours.
that.
Fucking hell.
I know they're like. How's this? I got an email today from Miss Kelly Jones, who I do Tartaria Australia with.
Oh, yeah.
And hang on, let me just, can I share the screen? I'll show it. It's pretty cool. You give me access. I think last time you made me host, didn't you?
Yeah, let me just try that now, bro. That should work.
Oh, yep, cool. Yeah, she sent me this. I don't know where she got it, but it says top Aussie truthers. And down at 11, we've got JCK.
Ah, sick.
With our friends. At 12, we've got, I don't know, some dude who's got a P in his name, so I'm not sure who it is, but I think that could be me.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that.
And at 13, we've got Kelly.
Yeah, cool.
So there you go. We're in the top 14 of the top Aussie truthers, apparently. So that was nice. So
it's awesome for you, bro.
So who knows how, you know, I wouldn't have ever thought that, you know, I don't consider myself a truther as such, but when you see stuff like that, you just think my reach has got to be much bigger than what I'm being told.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
For sure, man. And yeah, like it's, I know even Santos has sat on like a number for sale. He'd probably be up about 1 million subs, mate.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this is the thing. And in the stats, and the stats are no doubt, you know, being changed anyway, but it says every month I'm getting 1,500 to 2,000 subscribers, right? Yet it takes me 3 months or more to go up 1,000.
That's it, man. It's crazy, bro. I did a post the other night, man, and I was calculating in my head too, and I was watching it like go up, like, and I was like, and generally I get 2,000 to about 4,000 or 5,000 views, something like that for a good like my vids, right? And I've only got like 1,500 subs, so even that is mathematically impossible to get.
It's a bit weird.
I should have around more 10,000 to get that. Even then, mate, probably more to get 4,000 or 5,000 a view. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, and mate, even my Instagram, bro, I've got posts from years ago. I had hundreds of likes, and now I've got 11 on these, like, right back, or 7, 11. You know, it's just like fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even do Facebook really anymore.
Oh, that's their little bum.
I used to have, like, I used to be maxed out at like followers and everything, like always. And now I'm down to like, I think it's under 1,000, and same thing. I put stuff up and get like 10 likes or something. And it used to be hundreds. And I just put up a post and it'd be hundreds, and then like, you know, like tens and tens of comments and big, you know, conversations going. And now it's just no one sees them.
Well, there you go. It just discourages you. You're like, fuck, you know. Oh,
yeah, well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, I guess that means we've all got to get off, because what's it going to end up with in the end, right? If we're all sitting around going, I can't talk about what I want to talk about. Well,
I know it's time to move on from.
It is. I think it's
YouTube.
I've been thinking about it. YouTube. I need to start doing live streams.
Yeah,
and you can now stream on Rumble and Odyssey. And so a lot of people are doing live streams, and they'll stream for half an hour and then they turn off YouTube. And, you know, if you want to watch the rest, come over to Rumble or Odyssey, and that way start moving the people across, because YouTube, it's ridiculous.
It is, man. It's censorship, you know, it's communism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. Thinking, mate, that, you know, like I look back, I always talk about my family, but fuck, I just can't help it, mate, because it's like the divide is so crazy. But you know, when you realize that your family are communists,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and they stick up for it. It's like, you know, Stockholm syndrome, and they stick up for their captors. It's
Yeah.
insanity.
Yeah.
And no matter how much truth you can show them, bro, no matter how many facts, no matter how much fucking truth you've got, their little brains just can't handle it, mate. It's insane.
No, it's the same as religion, right? It's their new religion. You know, it's because, you know, scientism, right? And the TV, that's their God. So that's what's right. That's what they believe. And so anyone saying different, they're going to hell, and which is exactly what, you know, the mental state they've put these people in, right?
Yeah, that's right, mate.
It's like anyone who's not doing what you're doing, oh, well, they're trying to kill you, they're trying to destroy you, they're evil. You know, it's the same dogma that we get in religion. That's the thing about these, you know, parasites, is they're not creative, but they're good at carrying out plans. They're good at like making plans that go for like 100 years and all this and being meticulous.
Yeah.
But they got no creativity, so they just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
So how long do you think the lifespans they live for, these creatures, bro? Like that's because, you know, like think if they're preparing the realm for over 100 years for us to enter. You know, do they have 100 years, or do they live in a bit longer, or, you know?
I tend to, I mean, they definitely think, you know, that with all their you know, ceremonies, shall we say, they believe that gives them extended life and youth and that. But I tend to think that the ones that we see, you know, that we're allowed to see, that are in public, maybe a bit longer, you know, and who knows, that might just be because they get, you know, they're probably not getting, you know, the medicine we're getting in that, you know, and the toxic water and food. But I think in the background, you know, the people that we don't see, or not, you know, the beings that we don't see, that the real, which would be, you know, the devils, but I think they're just possessed by something that's not physical. But I think they probably do. Yeah, they probably live for, who knows, 500 years. Yeah. And that's why they can keep these plans so well and do it over long times. Because these places they live. Right, they live in them. They own these like a house for hundreds of years. What other family does that? You know, it's only these dudes. So, and they have all their servants. So I think, you know, I think we're dealing with, you know, the Archon, right, or the demiurge, or whatever you want to call it, and it's not physical. It's like a, you know, spiritual, if you want to call it that, being. But it can then go in and possess people, and these are the voices in people's heads and the demons, and, you know, little angel on your shoulder. Yeah. And so some people get possessed, and the ones that are easier, then they turn into bloodlines, right? And so they get bred so that they're easier to be infiltrated, and so that they make better slaves. Because in the end, they're just all slaves as well to their god, but they don't, so that they're more brainwashed than us, really. I mean, you know, I don't know if brainwash is the right word, but so, you know, this is the thing, but they're also psychotic, so they'll never change. No. To pick them, how do we find ourselves here, man? Why did we apply for this job? Because we love it. But mate, that was a great, get rid of them once and for all. Yeah, man. I think the more of this, what we're doing, I was thinking too, bro, like, what about when the tables turn, right? And the media is no longer owned by these fuckers. Imagine that, right? Yeah, and imagine dudes like us, right? Then they like that they want real history channels and real like, imagine then us going out doing explorations with film. Oh, that's the plan, man. Yeah, that's the plan. You know what I mean? Like, got to think big, bro. And yeah, I've had short talks, not in depth, but yeah, with Syncretism Society, that's definitely on their agenda too. So this is the thing. CNN, and I haven't heard this anywhere either. CNN got bought out, like, I think it was about a month ago, not long, by a massive Trump supporter. So CNN's now owned by a Trump supporter.
Right? Yeah, man, I just don't know. I think they're all
about Trump. Yeah, well, who knows? But, and then he's releasing a new site. So I think all this media and YouTube's imploding. I think it's happening. It's happening as we watch, right?
Awesome.
You know, I mean, we've seen in Australia like Alan Jones step down, other big sort of media people, Bert, you know, Moonface dropped off the perch. And I mean, because Australian media is rife, you know, with those dudes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's happening, you know, and then we see these people like, you know, especially American politicians, right? They don't even look like the right people anymore. It's not like they're not even trying anymore, you know. It's like, I just whacked this far, kind of looks like him.
Wow.
Up there.
Incredible, eh, bro?
You know? Now, they can't speak, you know, Nancy and Biden, they literally can't string a sentence together. So if this is, if you think about it, if this is the, you know, the evil cabal that have ruled us for 7,000 years almost, well, they can't even get someone who can fucking string a sentence together and do a proper speech.
Yeah,
this is the thing, right?
Well, they've been doing that for the last 100 years. Like, that's all these fuckwits have had to do is read from a prompter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they just need to look good,
yeah,
look respectable, sound intelligent, and just repeat what they're told to repeat.
Yeah.
But now they can't do it. So, you know, do we think that at a time like this, when they've got all their cards on the table, they're going for it, right? They're going for it. This is it. This is the takeover. Do we really think that they would do everything and then not be able to get a fucking good actor in front of the camera?
So what's that about, bro? Is that,
these are all the little things that make me think there is something going on in the background. There is a good force. There is, and I don't know if it's Q or if it's the American army or what it is, or these, you know, people have spoken about old families. I think they call them, what are they called, white lighters maybe, and there's sort of, a lot of them are Asian and stuff, you know, so we don't know, but there's definitely something going on, like definitely, like these. And look at what's happening now. We're 4 weeks into this latest conflict, and it's completely just fallen apart, and everyone's just laughing at Biden, and it's just, in a month, like, they've lost control of it, right? They've completely lost control of the other narrative. So I see a lot going on, but this is the thing, they're never going to show us, right? Because they still have control of a lot of stuff, like a lot of media companies and things. So,
and the herd will always follow
what they're used to, what they're comfortable, you know. It's like, if you're used to going to work and coming home, and as soon as you come home, you get your beer, sit on the couch and click your remote control. Well, that's what you're going to keep doing, and all they need to do is change the program, and you just got to keep watching it. But so yeah, I think there's just, I think they're all being taken down one by one.
Well, this is an encouraging conversation. Yeah, bro, that's nice.
We might have to put this one up on Rumble.
Yeah, 2 years into it or whatever, and we're, you know, I was just thinking about it the other day. Me and my missus were courting, you know, and we're sitting on the beach at Noosa, and the fucking police came up to us and kicked us off the beach, you know. And I just said to this fucking police, sorry for swearing, guys, I can't help it. I said to this police woman, I said, it's the New World Order. And she goes, yes, it is.
She knows where her bread's buttered,
you know. So
I mean, seriously, for a lot of them it is, because we know that the bulk of police, especially in Australia, they're all Freemasons.
Yeah,
they just are. Check it out. I mean, and check out their signage, man, their symbols. When you say Freemasonic, they have the bloody checkered cord.
Check it out. Did you say check it out or check it out?
Check it out.
It's all check it.
Check it out.
You know? Yeah, man, check it. That's for sure.
Their star, that's, you know, not the wrong way and stuff, and it's so it's a battle, right? Like, but you know, I've said from the start we win, and that it's just, we're playing this out. I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that we've done this before a few times. You know, because I mean, you know, with everything else that's going on, you've got this time factor, right? We've got Mandela effect. We got people, everyone pretty much saying that time's speeding up.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the stories of the quickening that'll happen at the apocalypse. And just timeline, a lot of people talking about crossing timelines and things, being weird. So, as well as the attack from them, there's something, cosmic, if you want to put it that way. There's something more energetic, right? EMF sort of happening as well.
Yeah, man. And it's when you say timelines and stuff, I think you've spoken about it before with Michelle Gibson about like Back to the Future Part 2, where they skew off a different tangent. And just even that movie, man, like in the first one, there was a reference to Twin Towers. And the second one, the whole thing, mate, you can watch the whole thing and just little, the dogs' names. We got Einstein and Copernicus, in the 1 and 2. And I just watch it, and then you got
Biff. There's even a flat Earth map, I think, isn't there, in the opening scene of the first one? When he walks in to play his guitar, when he strums the guitar and it all explodes. I think there's
really.
I think on the wall.
Wow, I'll check it out.
Definitely that scene. There's something, and I think it's a flat Earth map on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, mate. I can't believe I haven't seen it. If there is, but yeah, that's yeah. And then you got Biff Tannen, who's Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Who's fucks the world up, but that's there. You know what I mean?
You're gonna lose our Patriot audience if you speak like that.
Look, mate, I would love Trumpage to be the real deal. Don't worry about that, mate. Hopium.
Yeah.
Hopium is real too.
Well, the thing is, do we even need another leader? Do we even want another? Leaders are what got us into this problem.
Exactly.
It's like I've always said, because people are like, oh, you should get into politics, and I'm like, well, if I did, all I'd want to do is make myself unemployable. If I won, I'd just dissolve the parliament and that'd be that, right? But so, yeah, I think we all need to put, energy into what we want to happen, but you can't rely on it, right? Because if they don't turn up, then where are you? But the same thing is, yeah, we don't want another leader that everyone's following, because the thing is with leaders is they lead. Yep. People follow them, right? So if they're going the wrong direction, then I don't know. I'm an open hand on it too. I just don't know what's happening. I'm just hoping for the best and working, just putting as much work as I can to make sure it does turn out the best, right? That's what.
Yeah, and mate, all I've done too, I think everyone just go back to like. You got to dig deep and find what you love doing. And now is like, mate, they're going to take everything away from us.
Yeah.
That's what they want. So no matter what income or whatever you think you got. So, mate, I had to, for a period there, I'd earn a bit more money. So I got a job to do that, and because the guitars weren't doing enough, and now I've just had to go, fuck, the guitar's everything. I've got, I can make guitars. Like, what's my income stream, and what am I good at? So, mate, I've just gone back to the basics, playing music, doing gigs, making guitars, doing repair, doing things that they can't take from me, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what wealth is, something that they can't take from you. And it's like America, if you had $1 million in the bank last year, you've probably got like 600,000 in the bank now, because and through no fault of your own, because they can take it, because it's money, right? It's not something. So this, we hear these statements all the time from actual successful people. It's like, well, if you took all my material bits away, it wouldn't really matter, because everything that made that it's all in here. It's all in here, wherever. Yeah. So I'll just make it back, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And this is the thing. Do we want a job? Because most jobs, there's some new ones starting, but a classic job is working for BlackRock. And what doesn't matter which way you want to spin it, that's the truth, because they own 98% of everything in the realm. So, and that's the devil, literally.
Yeah.
So do we want to support that? or do we want to go out and build? Do we want to build a new future? You know, do we want a future with more cashiers and Uber drivers, or do we want a future with more guitars and live music?
Yeah.
I think this
And
is
supporting, see, mate, the people they've got to support what they love too, you know, and
yeah,
fucking hell, mate.
I agree. Owen
No, or
Benjamin,
it's
I was
not going to
listening to
stay.
him one.
Or,
You know, Owen Benjamin, yeah.
Yeah,
Big Bear.
I love Big Bear. I want to have a chat with him, actually.
Yeah, I've thought about it. He's hard to contact. I think he's made it
Yeah.
that way, but I'm sure I can get in there if I put my
Definitely,
mind to
mate.
it.
Well, Santos is, like Santos has gone to see him and stayed with him. So I think
okay.
Santos
You
might
get a contact off him
word.
there.
Yeah, I think he'd have a word, hopefully, for us, and just say,
Maybe it's not what you know, mate. Maybe it's who you know.
I think it's a bit of
yeah, he said once. He said, because he was the same, he was the same. He was sort of, he basically quit everything, right? He was in Hollywood,
yeah,
and he just quit it all and just went, no, bugger it. I'm just going to go be self-sufficient. But I remember once he said, if you don't support what you love, it'll go away. And that stuck. I mean, that's a great way to put it. Like we all have money and we're all supporting something. We just are, right? Unless you're sitting at home doing nothing, you're supporting something. So do you want to support Woolworths and or the system that makes you poor? Or do you want to support other things, actual businesses, people, things that make the world better? So yeah, I think that's where we've got to go. I'm the same. I'm creating products, that I need to get out there. And we're talking about creating products for the education system, because that's
man, that's something
like the home
really
this is
forward to chatting about, bro. Yeah,
it's another way to look at it, is all these systems are collapsing, right?
That's it.
Education is collapsing, the media is collapsing, entertainment is collapsing, the government is collapsing, all these things, right? So we need new systems. So we need, and not a new education system, but we need new ways to educate children. New ideas, new ways of doing things. And so
new curriculum.
We're jumping into that, new curriculums, right? Teach them how to think, not what to think.
That's it.
But we need this everywhere. So really, this is really sort of the biggest opportunity that we've had in decades. Like for everyone.
Yeah,
it's so easy now, but it's like that. When you've got nothing left to lose, you just do whatever you want, right? So, and a lot of people are getting close to there. So why let the government finish you off? Why try and hang on to a job in an industry that will probably not exist in 2 years? And if it does, you'll have to have 24, things in your arm to have that job.
That's it, mate. I was having sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, so make the break now. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was having a chat with one of the school. I don't know if I told you. I dropped my stepson up to school, and then one of the teachers said to me, he's had to have the Jabberwocky to keep his job. And I just said, well, mate, you obviously didn't learn. You're going to come back as a dog. His teacher's face, bro. I just said it like that, real dry, real straight faced, and he sort of went, "It was nice talking to you. Bye."
Did he have a rainbow coloured shirt on?
When you just fucking go, I would just go, all right, mate, I'll just try my luck. I don't know. I'll go and make necklaces. I'll go and pick up some shells, thread a thing, and turn up to the markets and try to.
Exactly. Or if you're a teacher and you want to be a teacher, then be a teacher. Go out and don't advertise it. Don't have the government know you're doing it, but find families that want to homeschool their kids.
That's right.
And people, what they're doing, they're getting, 10, 15, 20 families together, and they all put their money in and they employ the teacher. And they just start their own homeschool. But if you're going to do it, in Australia at the moment, don't tell anyone, because the police and literally when they find out, they're knocking on people's doors and threatening them, giving them letters from what are they called, DHS, or no, the family services or whatever they're called. So they're not happy, but this is what we need to do, is do it anyway, right? You don't, you just do it. You don't have to advertise it or tell anyone, just do it. And this is
Yeah,
the
because
thing, like,
that's at the end
we
of the
don't
day.
need to
We don't have
virtue
staff
signal
for it.
anymore. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't, you don't have to do something so you can go on social media and tell the world that I've grown some carrots, look at me.
I know.
Just do it,
Yeah.
just do it. I think we need to get over that as well as we need to be more doing and less trying to show people what we've done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's all ego too, bro. You got to let go of the ego, mate. You should see the frigging car I drive around in now. I had a nice car, and now I've got this old bomb, and I'm cruising around. I'm just like, who are these? These people are all programmed. Like, why would I care what they think?
Well, yeah, that's the one thing. But I mean, owning a nice car, I mean, it's ego, right? Because and even you might look at someone and go, oh, that's a nice car, I wish I had that car, but we never look at them and go, oh gee, I wish I had their car payments. I wish I had to go to work as much as them just to pay for that thing. That's and the reason they've got that car is literally just so that they can drive to work and back.
I know.
And they've only got their house close because it's close enough to their work. It's retarded.
I know, it's retarded. The whole thing, bro. Like, that's what, you're asleep 50% of the time. And then the 50% of the time you're awake, 70% of that time you're at work.
Yeah. And then people have been programmed that, the way to relax is what? Sit in front of the screen, right? The TV.
Oh my God.
So they go and work, do something they don't want, and then their relaxation, their time is being programmed.
Yeah.
Good system.
Crazy, bro. Now, mate, before we go keep skew-whiffing, which is fine anyway.
We've been going sideways, haven't we?
I love it. It's mate, it's funny. Some of our best ones is when we just have rants. It's good. And I love it. I love it when you start swearing. That's cool.
I didn't even know until someone pointed it out. Like,
I bring out a side in you, bro. It's so cool.
I know, right? You these topics.
Yeah, I watch your posts. I love watching your vids with, like, the spiritual ladies on Spiral Up, and then I'm like, why isn't he swearing? Where did Cambell? Where's my man?
It's you and Kelly and buddy Jason.
Kelly loves a good swear. She's good.
Yeah, I know, right? It's surrounded by swearing bears.
Swear cats.
You're corrupting me.
Yeah, bro. But I wanted to quickly touch upon, I thought it was really interesting that that guest that Santos had on his show, Syncretism Society, that Jason from Archaics, which is spelled ARCAIX.
Yes, indeed, on YouTube. Yes, on YouTube. And he's got a Facebook group as well.
Yeah, check this guy out, guys. It's Archaics on YouTube. And mate, if he happens, I'm going to try to get in touch.
Yeah.
I think we should try to tee something up.
Yeah, if you want to do it together, I was thinking I should. I was thinking I need to swat up on his work a bit more, because a lot of info. Like, I don't want to, but wow, this dude. So
smart guy. A quick rundown, mate. Like 20 years he was in jail.
26 years. When he was 17. Apparently for a minor kind of offense, but when he was in there, he sort of got into a few fights, and it ended up extending his time. 26 years. Got out when he was 42, I think he said. Is that right? 42, 43. And when he was in there, he, it's obviously a smart guy, and he started reading, and he ended up getting a job in the library, in the prison library, and then he worked his way up, and he got himself where he was managing all the libraries of all the prisons in, I think it was in the USA. I think it was the whole USA.
Yeah.
And what he says is, we have access to libraries, we as, the common folk, but all the books we get, they're constantly rewriting them and altering them and censoring them.
Yeah.
Even the old books, right? And that's why we get always, there's always like a new edition, right? And everyone thinks, oh, that's the best, but it's actually less information.
Yeah.
But they don't do this in the prisons, right? They haven't changed the books in the prisons. So he's had access to books that are hundreds of years old and the original writings from 200-300 years ago. And so he spent the last 26 years reading reading like for 10 hours a day, all the books, all the ancient Greek books, all the histories of all the different peoples. And he's basically come up with what he's found a thread through them that every 138 years, there's a reset. But what he's saying is that's not a plain wide reset. He's saying there's something that comes into our environment and causes a reset in a certain place. And so this actually explains a lot to do with the mud flood and what we see, you know, because we see buildings and towns that they look like 1,000 years old, right? That were covered and destroyed a while ago. And then we see the same thing in cities from 100 or 200 years ago. So he's saying there's these events on like clockwork, but always at different places, these mini sort of resets. And he also sort of says that, you know, the parasites sort of know about it. And so they kind of use it to create like societal resets as well. So it's a pretty interesting topic, and he's got a lot of information.
Yeah, he touched one thing, the phoenix.
The phoenix. That's what he calls it, the phoenix cycle, I think.
Rising of the phoenix or something.
But basically, yeah, the phoenix is this reset event every 138 years.
And mate, he was talking about this. I think he says the sun goes, and the sky, like
goes red.
Yeah, and it's like a gas. What's he call it? It's really interesting. His terminology, mate. I was like, I've never thought of.
Yeah, he's got some good words because he's so well read. He's interesting to listen to.
Yes. They're talking about years of like this darkness, no sunlight, and he was touching what I sort of found interesting is they're pushing all the solar panel, you know, everyone to have solar power, and you know, and then what they're trying to do once the sun goes away, obviously everyone's on solar, so they've got no power. All these underground cities are preparing for it, man. They've got all these foot soldiers just ready to come up, and pretty crazy stuff, you know, like.
Yeah, well, yeah, he mentions in one of his videos that in Turkey alone, oh gosh, now I can't remember the number, but like 70 or something underground cities have been found, like ancient ones. Wow. So not even in use, like ancient ones. So we don't know what's going on under the ground, and we all want to believe that they're down there and all these explosions and things are, you know, them, you know, clearing out these tunnels and saving children, but we just don't know. Are they expanding? Are they getting ready for something? Because in his timeline, this is going to happen in 2040 in May the 13th, I believe. So it's a pretty accurate timeline. But this is the thing I need to watch more, or you know, get him on and ask him some questions. It seems to be that he says that the reset happens in different, you know, the cataclysms are in different places. It's not plain wide, but it also seems that some of them are much bigger than other ones. Like the one in 1902, I think there was a bit of, you know, weather and stuff, but nothing major. But again, the parasite used it as a reset to reset. And when you look into 1902, a lot of stuff went down, but stuff that was not in your face, just like, you know, companies changing ownership and things like this.
It was like over 400 companies just from 1901 to 1902 suddenly came up, and they were
exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the new narrative. That was all the new food and everything we had to eat and all the stuff from the fashion, and that's how they controlled everything, right? Because we get everything from them.
Wow.
So it's an interesting concept. I think, give me a week or two to watch another 10 videos. I
was the same, mate. I just thought I'd bring it up and let people know and check it out, because I too haven't delved enough into it. I've got his email, so I think we'll get in touch and try to tee up.
Definitely start a conversation with him, because he's very up, you know, he's very up for chatting. He says it every video.
Yeah.
Ask me any questions, contact me, because he's out there looking. And you know, I mean, we all know what it's like, right? He's putting out a different, you know, set of information, and so he's getting a lot of trolls, a lot of people getting, you know, getting offended and all this. But he's out there and he's literally looking for people to help him. He's like, has anyone got the pieces? You know, no, I haven't got all this. I'm looking for more bits. So yeah, definitely everyone go check him out. ARCHAIX KX on YouTube. And give him a sub and watch his stuff. Because he's only got like 1,000 subs or something too, hasn't he?
Yeah. I was
It's only
surprised.
pretty small.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for that sort of info, you know, it's pretty crazy. You know?
Isn't it? Yeah. Well, this is the thing, you know, if it was 2 years ago, 3 years, he'd probably be a lot bigger. But
yeah,
you know, I mean, the info he's talking about, if he's right, then I mean, he's almost enemy number one, isn't he? Right? He pretty much uncovered the whole plan.
Subs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And he's got a lot of it. It's very interesting, isn't it? Like he talks about in the past, like people who knew this cycle would literally make bets and things like that the sun would disappear, and they bet, you know, like companies and castles and kingdoms and stuff on it, and they just obviously win, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So this is how they control us, right? It's a reset world, but they just don't want us to know that. Like they used to teach catastrophism in school.
Isn't it
taken out?
Isn't it just amazing? You know, like we're thrust into this realm. We're told lies from day dot. We're injected with poison. We're told about Santa, the Easter Bunny. So all the just from day dot, it's all lies. Then we go to our schooling system, indoctrination, it's all lies. You know how
bad food, bad water.
Mate, why, you know, like I know I've probably asked this before, but you know, it's crazy. I still think about it, you know, like why are there people like us that can see it so clear?
Wow.
You know, and then obviously you program people, dumb as dog shit, you know. But
yeah, so this is the big question, right? Is where are we? I mean, another big part of Archaic's work is simulation theory. So he's and it's through his research that he's got onto that. He used to sort of be a you know, very devout Christian, and now he's simulation theory. So, and you know, a lot of us have talked about, you know, is this real? Is it a simulation? Is it a film? Is it, you know, blah blah blah. So, I mean, the thing that makes the most sense to me is that it is some kind of simulation that's been taken off the reel. It's like an alternate, you know, I don't know, like a time bubble or something, but whatever. But something's gone bad, right? A bad entity's come in, and whether that's by design, and it's just sort of hasn't been able to be controlled, or if it's just got in here. I think the reason that a lot of, you know, awakened people are in here is to wake everyone else up.
Yeah.
To get the game over, because, you know, we know that in this realm, we're supposed to have, you know, freedom, right? Free thought. We're supposed to make our own decisions, and then we have to live through those consequences. So if that's true, the only way to stop the simulation would be to get everyone to agree they want it to stop, right? Or to change it. So
far out, like we are literally like the Neos.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, the reincarnation cycle is keeping people in here, and that could be like like an infiltration too. Maybe we're supposed to do one life and then leave, and they've got people on a loop and they just can't get out.
Wow. Yeah.
And so we have to say, guys, you know, you can get out. Hello, wake up. Look, these that's not God. You're looking the wrong way. And look what's happening, right? You know, it's like I was saying this kind of stuff 10 years ago, and you know, there was a couple of people around, but I was pretty much a crazy dude. And 10 years before that, I was definitely the crazy dude. And now, you know, people want to listen to what I say, and I'm still saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
So people are waking up. And I think that it's energetic as well. So it's just this certain time that has been picked because it's the best time, you know, it's people are rising in vibration anyway. And so we're just here to help them get up and, you know, save as many as we can. I think, I mean, it sounds weird talking like that, I know, but when my first thought was, you've put me in the wrong place, come back and get me.
Yeah.
But my second thought that I can remember when I was a kid was, you're here to fight a battle. You're here to fight a war. And I used to always be confused because I'm like, I'm against violence. I'm not going to war because I'm thinking, you know, a war, right? Like we get shown on the TV. But here we are, right? In the middle of a war. So this is the thing. I think we've been taught that, you know, fate or whatever you want to call it, or, you know, some kind of predestined life doesn't exist. But I think it does. But within that framework, we have free choice. But I think we also have, you know, a destiny, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
And we can probably ignore it if we want to, you know, I don't know.
I think a lot do. You know?
Well, yeah, I know, but would it be easier? I think it would be, I mean, I don't know. There's no way I could ever, that's just like, well, it is hell, right? To me, that's like, being a conformist is, I can't even conceptualize what it would be like in my mind. I can't even go there, and I don't want to. You know, I've never, like, yeah. It's just bizarre, isn't it? That some put so, yeah. Would you have the choice and still pick to be a zombie? I don't know. But I mean, you know, after 10 years of being the weirdo, maybe a lot of people probably do. They just go, oh, bugger it, I'll just go and buy the same records and wear the same clothes as everyone else and just, you know, cry myself to sleep every night.
Well, what happens, bro, too, like once the more conscious you become, like that's why I can't watch shit on Netflix and why I can't watch movies and why I might just watch something to look for shit, you know, because once you're conscious level, it's not an intelligence test, it's a conscious test.
Yeah. And frequency too, because everything has frequency. So all these movies have a certain frequency. So literally that's what we're looking for, stuff on our frequency. It's like, oh, that's too low. And it's because, you know, it'll either drag you down and so you don't want it in your consciousness, or it's just like, oh no, there's something doesn't feel right. And that's it, right? And that's, so you can see the whole old, you know, oh God, can't call it the old world, but the last age, shall we say, that's what it was all built on. Everything, right? Low vibration music, bloody clothes, just bland bloody clothes made, you know, nothing handmade, just all from a factory in China.
Yeah.
Along with all our furniture, it's just all soulless, you know, low vibration stuff. That's why you see also a lot of awake people, you know, they have like solid wood furniture and they have older stuff, you know, and they tend to have, you know, antiques and things like that more than where systemites, they're happy to throw the lot out, throw out their antiques and, you know, get a shipment from IKEA and go, oh, look how shiny it is.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, so yeah, I think there's, yeah, I don't know. If we're here, that means we chose to be here. So that's the thing, right? We chose to come in and we go, oh, we'll give it a go. We'll go take on those.
Well, we've got nothing to lose, mate. That's why I look at it. We're going to go fucking some point, you know. We might as well put up a, you know.
Yeah, that's the other big lie is death, right? If you think that death is the be all and end all, and this is your only life, thanks religion, then you're going to worry, right? You know, you're going to try and prolong and, oh, this is the only life I ever get. But if you understand, well, when you die, it's just a doorway, you're just going somewhere else, then why would you ever compromise your morals? Because they however you live is going to dictate the door that you open when you die, right?
Yeah.
So if you give away your morals and support evil, well, you're opening a door with a staircase that goes down when you die. I would never do that.
No, man, and they're doing it. Yeah, it's funny, man. I think about this, I thought about it a few times. And when I was at the markets on Sunday, my mate came up to me, he goes, mate, it was like I said it, and he goes, oh, but if you were the creator and you look down, you saw how fucked the human race is, how would you get rid of all these motherfuckers?
I hate that. I hate that. Like this whole narrative that humans are the problem. Guess where that comes from? They come from the parasites. We're not the problem. It's like what they're trying to push now, with the environment. Oh, it's all your fault, humans. It's all your fault. No, we do not own the logging companies. We're the ones that go out and try and stop them doing that kind of stuff. We're not the ones that are pumping pollution into the ocean. We're not the ones that are spraying the skies, right? That are messing with the. It's not humans. So this whole. And that really, I'm about to swear again, so get yourself ready. But that really annoys me, like that whole narrative. It's just, and you hear these people who think they're so spiritual and so awake, and they just blame the human race. And it's like, well, if that's the truth, go and kill yourself, because you're the problem and you want to fix the world. So go and kill yourself. I mean, that's the only answer there is to these kind of people. They're so brainwashed. I hate that. And it's like the kid thing, right? Oh, it's such an awful world. How could you bring a child into this awful world? It's like, well, how about you focus on being a better human being, and then you'll raise better human beings, because that's clearly what we need at the moment.
That's it, bro.
This narrative of humans are the problem, if you believe that, there's only one way to fix that problem, and it's probably not what you want to do, right? But it's not us, it's a lie. It's like we said at the start, right? Whatever they say, believe the opposite.
Yeah. But I guess if I was to take the devil's advocate and look at it from this other person's point of view and say, like, well, we've all got a choice. They've taken the stupid, is that their fault? And now, like, that's what I mean. Do you think, like, I know like, we want to live in a world of conscious people, bro. Is there, like, the only way to do that is to start with a system that's going to support us,
Yeah.
So is the problem, like, the problem is obviously the system, and
definitely.
But I can see where someone would say, like, that, like, it's sort of a test as well, I guess. They can say, gone that way, you know what I mean? And if you've gone that way, then, like, nothing good's going to come from that. But I guess, I don't, like, would the creator have such a bad intent? Would he ever do such a thing?
You see, it's this whole thing, like, Christians will say, if you don't, find God or whatever it is, find Jesus before you die, then you'll go to hell, basically, I think is what they say. And I used to always say, well, what if you're born in South America in the 1500s and you never got to even know that Christianity existed? What, you go straight to hell? That's not very nice. Exactly. And then they go, oh no, you get to plead your case at the pearly gates. But that again isn't very fair. So as far as us coming down to learn lessons and then being put into a place where we're bombarded from day dot with propaganda and crap, that doesn't seem fair, does it? No. Like, if we're going to be judged on the decisions we make. So I see it more as like a growing experience. I think it's more like, you can learn from bad, you can learn what not to do, right? As much as you can learn what to do. So I think people are just growing, and as they go through different, lives or through their life and make choices, if this is the other thing, right? We're told everything's random. So people, cry at the sky when things happen, instead of looking in the mirror and going, why did I cause that? They go, oh, the world sucks, it's out to get me. And so they're never going to learn their lesson, right? So we've got to start seeing that we're the creators and we create everything. And when we do that, I start to move up. But I think it's, like we grow, everything's a fractal, right? So in this life, we're born as a child and we learn certain things. And then as we grow, we get to choose what we take on and who we like, and I'll believe what they say or whatever. And I think that's what people do throughout different lives. You know, they start off as an infant, right? We see adult infants all the time. And then as you go through, and obviously some people grow faster than others. That's why there's all these different levels, but they just grow up, you know. And sometimes that may be living a life where you make all the wrong decisions, and at the end of it, you're like, oh shit, okay, I'll try that again and do it better. So I tend to think that's what's happening. Is it's just I think we're here to learn about ourselves and to grow and mature a bit, and maybe this is kindergarten, right? Maybe we're all literally, we have to pass it, testers, if you want to put it that way, but we have to reach a certain maturity before they let us out into the bigger world. Because we are powerful, right? We're powerful creators. So, some people you wouldn't want to let out there. So you can't tell people what to do. They have to learn it. So I tend to think it's just a big school kind of thing, but I think it's also been corrupted because, like we said, if it's about choice, then being programmed for your whole life isn't very fair. So, maybe that's answering the first question. That's why we're down here, right? Is to get that out, to bring it back to more free choice so that people can actually learn and evolve and stop going around in circles, start to spiral up, right?
That's it, Brian. That's a really interesting point, mate. And it's a nice perspective you've just given on that, what I said, mate, because it's not our fault. It's not, we've been thrust into this realm. Everything's a fucking lie, and then to sort of sit on our high horse and go, well, we're conscious, we're so conscious, and these idiots what fucking idiots, they deserve to die. It's not really fair.
No, and it's also not real conscious, is it?
No, that's right.
I don't like the decision they made, so they should die. Oh,
yeah, and
they have to put up with the consequences. I mean, we do a little bit, but not really. I'm in Perth and I go to the shop a couple of times a week. I've never put a mask on ever, not through this pandemic, maybe a dust mask in the past, but so every time I go out in the last month, I'm the only person.
Wow. Had all that
face covering on. So, are they really affecting us? Because I just walk around. I don't, I don't get yelled at or hassled or anything. So they could affect me, I guess. I could sit there and go, oh, these people, they're destroying. Look, I can't even go shopping. Or I can just walk in and shop.
That's what I did both do, man. Never wore one. And and you just got to go about your business.
You just got to do it. And then laugh at
laugh
at the stupidity. You walk through a shopping centre, everyone's masked up. And then you walk past a cafe where the most, people are sort of, the most density of people, and they're all sitting in there without them on because they're eating and drinking and talking.
Oh my God.
You guys don't even believe it. So it's full cognitive dissonance, like there's full brainwashing. I saw something before, it said, what did it say? COVID-19, the first virus to something like to make people stupid or to increase stupidity or something. And that's all it's really done. That's the real virus, is it's a mind virus.
Yeah, man, it is. And if you, I mate, as soon as it came out, I swear, I said to my missus, this is total fucking bullshit. Like all of it. She was going, babe, you don't know, like no one, and then I had other mates who were pretty open minded. I saw mates in the street, he had gloves on, this mate of mine, a mask and gloves. And he was just like, oh, you got to be, we just don't know. I was like, mate, fucking snap out of it, bro. And that's when I did my videos, like when I went into, the shopping centers with my goggles and earmuffs and and gloves on and stuff. And mate, when I had my goggles on, oh, fuck, it's so good. Like I was telling people to put goggles on. Like
no, they were probably believing you were. They coming back the next day with goggles.
Yeah, it was like, fuck, you got a mask on. What about your eyeballs?
Yeah, it can come in through your eyeballs, man. Didn't you know? Oh, you've got to put a mask on your butthole too. You can't leave that unprotected. Jeez, guys, what are you doing?
Mate, you could say to these people, walk around with your index finger up your anus and it'll prevent, and then sniff it. And then and that
every time you feel sick, pull it out and sniff it and you'll be right.
Okay. Yeah, and that will prevent you from catching anything.
You could
protect it.
The stuff that people have been made to do and the stuff that people have done on their own. Like they've gone home and made these bloody radiation suits and helmets out of drink bottles and stuff, and it's like, and they all look so proud, don't they, and so smug when they're out in society looking like complete fools. It's like,
mate.
But I mean, it was so obvious. I mean, the biggest thing was everyone changed the rules, right? Everyone, all governments, on one day, all decided they all liked each other and they all agreed. That's never happened in the history of the realm ever. But then, you know, like literally the next day after they announce it, you go into the shopping center and there's stickers all over the floor.
I know.
I mean, if that wasn't the biggest giveaway, if it's not like, well, these were printed off months ago. Well, what's going on here?
Yeah, and we'll just start, like we've started these companies that make soap and gloves and
stickers
and
these little shields.
We're going to sell them back to you, because imagine how much coin they've made on that. And now the fuel, like all this bullshit that's going on there now, they just go like fuel prices, like it's all about money making for these.
Oh, of course it is.
Huh?
Yeah, they're running out of funds, I think, and so they're trying to. I think that's what they're doing. I think, you know, I think the fuel prices could be artificial, and they're just literally skimming the top to get money. I think they're running out of money. These people who are pretending to be in control, you know, who we see as in control, they just don't seem to be funded properly, do they?
Mate,
because if this is their you know, their final attack, you'd think they'd be, you know, they'd have armies and people everywhere. They just don't seem to, you know.
Yeah, it's
something going on, right? They're
right,
just not
man. It's like,
because I mean, look at Russia. They killed like 60 million people. You know, they've done, like, they don't care. And to go to this amount, these lengths, and to only have taken out, you know, 1 million people, like, it's a bit weird. I mean, it's good, you know. Not that I'm wishing it was more, but it's, you know what I mean. That they're psychopaths. Like, they love war, so there's something weird going on, something good weird.
Well, bro, let's just keep doing what we're doing, I reckon, because the good weird is what we love, and mate, like that energy, the energy. Let's just keep putting the high energy out there, and everyone has to fucking do what they love and build their knowledge, mate. You know, like, and you like. With growth, with knowledge comes growth, you know. And mate, I just, like, I've come from, like, I was a meat eating. I just can't believe
I'm good.
I was 10 years ago, mate. I wasn't a bad guy, but fuck. Like,
yeah, well, no, but this is the thing.
You know,
most people aren't. You know, you go to an Aussie barbecue, and it's not like people are bad people.
No, you're like, but. Yeah, and now, like, I would hate, I couldn't stand to be in the same room as the old guys, you know.
Well, yeah, I got invited to someone who I went to school with like last year, like for their 50th, and the invite was just like the one I get when I was 17. You know, it's like, oh, you can crash around the corner at this house if you've drunk too much, and we'll organize. And it's just like, you fucking sick. You're gonna rock up at 50 and drink until you pass out. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Nah,
that's living, bro.
It's funny because I went to, I think I've been to two or three school reunions. Like every 10 years they have them, and it's just funny, man. Just watching people, like, they're all the same, but same attitude, but they just
haven't just
they age, man.
Yeah,
they just age.
Yeah, they look fucked. They're eating death.
They look fucked out, and you're just like, geez, really?
Yeah, man, I love walking around Noosa. I've said this before, but fuck, it's good, bro. Like the boat shoes, you get them everywhere. These types, they wear the sailing shorts, like the boat shoes.
polo shirt.
Yeah, polo shirt, the cardigan over the top, like that.
Oh, God.
You know, and mate, I walk around like Mrs. I'm like, look at these dudes. They're just like, they got no idea how programmed they are, spending so much money at these shops. They get 2 weeks off a year, right? They spend it up here at Noosa. So their day, they get up, they'll have a swim, you know, then they're at the coffee shop, you know, then they'll have a little relax on the beach. Then lunchtime comes, they're on the piss, they're drinking alcohol, you know, afternoon nap. Yeah, afternoon nap, maybe a little dip in the pool or whatever, then out for dinner, pissed, fucking wasted. And then that's living, mate. This is the mentality of what we're dealing with, you know, like this is what people, you know, after 40 years worth of hard work and slaving, you get 2 weeks off a year, this is your existence. Mate, shoot me. I'm not, I've never signed up for it.
Look at the bigger picture, right? What are they doing? They're trying to forget who they are. That's what getting drunk is. You know, so, and what I don't get is like, you do that for your 2 weeks holiday. At the end of the holidays, you're stuffed.
Yeah.
You're more tired than when you left. That's what I figured out when I was young. It's like people had, you know, I'm Australian, right? So everyone was an alcoholic when they were 18, and they drink Friday night, Saturday night, and then they get up Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And like it's their last day, so they'd start drinking at like fucking 10 in the morning.
Hair of the dog.
Pass out at 4, and then they're all like Monday morning, they're like, oh my God, I'm dead. And I'm like, well, hello, you fucking drank all that Sunday.
That's it, mate.
You expect.
Fuck it. And it's a roller coaster, bro. It's just a thing you go around in circles doing, you know. And then, mate, in Sydney, in these cities, fuck, then drugs comes into it, you know.
Yeah, well,
they're getting on the cocaine, and mate, when you have a few lines of coke, Jesus Christ, you can drink like a fish, you know.
Yeah, right.
And mate, the shit. Like I remember the one time, or you know, I haven't touched drugs for 10 years, but mate, when I remember in Sydney when I was young, and I had this line of coke. And I remember I was talking to this guy, an old mate, and he's talking about his dog or something. And I went, fuck your dog, what? I went, what kind of dog is it? I was so interested, mate. I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, what is it? Like, is it a Labrador? And mate, as I've said it, I could feel the cocaine like wear off.
And now you're not so interested,
mate. It was like,
it's a Labrador.
instant disinterest, right? And then it's just like, fuck, I need another line of coke.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so mate, it's just this, nothing's interesting.
Well, that's what you hear about in Hollywood a lot, isn't it? You know, they just with these habits of 10 grand a week and stuff. I guess that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, man, I got a pretty cool story. I won't say his name, but it's music producer I did some recording with. Mate, a pretty big Aussie producer, did all Elton John stuff, and that's all I'll say. But in excess, no more. But he used to have, I think it was about 2 grams a day, so that's $600 a day.
Wow.
Habit. So 7 6 to 42, that's $4,200 a week on coke.
Shit, man.
You know? And he said the day that he stopped, he'd been away on tour, and he went around
180 grand a year, man.
Yeah, man. He'd been on tour, come back, went to his drug dealer's house, right? And he's looked over the drug dealer's shoulder, like as he said, as he's grabbed his gear, he's like looked over the drug dealer's shoulder and saw his wife and kid. They've moved in with the drug dealer.
His wife and kid.
Yeah.
This music dude.
Yeah.
So
that's when he stopped. It took.
So his wife was obviously on it too then.
Yeah, she left him and moved in with the drug dealer and with the daughter. But that's, I've heard some cool, mate. Anyway, coke, all these drugs, mate, and people think it's like pure because it's white. It's like, do you fucking understand what it goes through to get to that point? It's not just like they pick it off. It's not like weed, mate. Like, I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's
and it's off a tree, you know,
made by chemicals, by people in not even in labs, right? In bloody kitchens and caravans and God knows where.
Yeah, crazy shit, mate. Yeah. So then there's all that with the when it comes to conscious levels, mate. Like you can't be conscious if you're doing cocaine. You can't be conscious if you're, snorting any type of
Snorting
amphetamine.
chemicals into your
Yeah,
brain.
God gave us a few little gifts. What a legend, if you want to relax, have a roll of joint. What a fucking legend.
Like, yeah, or have a beer. There's nothing wrong with having a good, maybe not a mass-produced one, but a good beer or two. Well, mate, I love two and good conversation. Don't have the whole carton.
That's it, mate. I love an organic red wine. That's my thing. I won't drink anything but organic red. But, mate, me and my missus have a glass. I have a couple of glasses every night, and but I'm my kids. They're 21, and that's the oldest one. Whatever. I've said 100 times about my kids, but mate, they've never seen me drunk.
Yeah, right.
And they'll say it like, "You got to get him here now," and they'll just go, "No, and that's because I wait till they go to bed. No.
Come on, boys, the kids are asleep.
7:30, get to bed. I'm 20, Dad. No, yeah, man. But there was obviously times when I was young, like when I drank enough for everyone put together, especially owning a pub. I used to drink a barrel of cider to myself every week, man. That's 70 pints.
Wow. What?
10 a night. Yeah, easy. Like fucking, I could have done more.
That's 10 pints a day, man. Jeez.
Yeah, so at night, I'd never drink in the day. And by the time, we'd finish dinner and then the drinks came out, and I'd have two. Then it's only by the fourth one that you're starting to feel it. That's what happens too.
Yeah.
And
then you start feeling all five and you're like, oh crap.
That's it. Now I've got a stomach disease for my troubles. Thank you very much. So if anyone,
awesome.
Mate, that's what goes around comes around. You can't do shit and get away with it, unfortunately, Oh,
well, there's a reason they call it piss, right?
Yep.
I mean, all these names we have with this stuff, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm still going to drink it.
Oh, man, it's crazy. I've mentioned in one of our last videos how they used to tile all the old pubs.
Yeah.
And that was literally to hose down the vomit off the walls. Like, fuck, this is a society, and that's normal, mate.
That was,
my dad's generation, mate, that was normal. He's an old wharfie. And, mate, they used to finish work, if they were doing a midnight, they'd finish work at like 6 a.m, then they'd rock up, they'd go to a pub and drink
in the morning.
and drink for 3 or 4 hours, get annihilated, go home, sleep, and then go up. That's living.
Yeah. It was like Joe Bioki Peterson, right, from up in your state. He was so popular because basically he kept beer and cigarettes cheap. So everyone loved him and kept voting him in.
Mate, that's like Ali G in the movie. He goes, Rizzlers will now be made free on the NHS. Rizzlers, that's right. And marijuana, that's right. The crack nut, he goes, marijuana will now be free on the NHS for symptoms such as itchy scrot.
We're so in clown world, aren't we? Because Biden just gave away, what did he give away? $30 million of free crack pipes or something. It's art imitating all that. It's just madness, right?
Mate, it's all madness. I love the Australian swimmer. He's like ranked 436 as a male, like swimming against men.
Is he Australian?
Was he Australian? I thought he might be American. No. Sorry, I thought he was an Aussie.
I hope not.
Yeah. And ranked 436. Yeah, and then sitting there like on the stand in his women's swimming costume, and the lunchbox. It looks like he's got a pigeon down his pants.
I've heard that he's still. Yeah, he hasn't had anything cut off. He's just identifies as a woman.
Yeah.
And what did he win? He won by like 32 seconds or something.
How could you even get up there and accept that? Like, what a piece of trash, huh?
Like, how could you even
men, mate? Like,
how could you feel good about that in any way, shape, or form?
It's like, mate, I'm, it's like
It's
me
like,
boxing a woman, or, you're like,
or going to a kindergarten and
yeah.
challenging one of the 5-year-olds to a race and then laughing at them when they lose.
Yeah.
So,
Clown world, mate. Like,
but
wow.
a good thing is the governor of Florida, because I think that dude he got it. I think he got like sportswoman of the year or something too. And the person who came second was like literally, just one of the best swimmers out there.
Yeah.
And so the governor in Miami or Florida just said, "Oh, we don't recognize this man who was swimming there. He doesn't win. We're not recognizing him as woman of the year or anything." And so he basically gave the award to the second place. But when that guy stood up, no one clapped him. And when second place stood up, they all went off their nuts.
Legends.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Again, it's just, it's the devil, right? It's the system.
Yeah,
it's trying to skew genders, trying to make people not think they're not men and women, and that goes back to law, because of course, unless only men and women come under God's law and law of the land, right?
That's it.
Bunnykins and transgenders and whatever they are, LGBTQ, LSMNOQPT, they're not men and women. They just come under legal maritime law as products. So
that's right. They've just got them screwed right there.
I've said it before, right? The easiest way to win a war is to get your enemies to kill themselves.
And well, mate, it's so smart what they've done. Like, I've said it 100 times. Where have all the men gone? Like, mate, like men these days. Like, I don't know if this could have been done when I was like in my teens or whatever. Like, we said before, like fucking, like, mate. Like,
there was men back there that
the
men seemed like there was Aussie men that were tough and would, there were more union type sort of people that
that's the environment I come from, bro. Like, my dad was a wharfie, my brother was a wharfie, I was an engineer at the wharves, and so I was always like, fuck the government, and now they've all, even my brother, he was a union delegate. He's just up for it. Yeah, like bang, like something's gone wrong. Something's happened to these people, bro. I don't know if it's just years of fluoridated water, like they've had to wait for the fluoride to kick in till they're really fucking dumbed down.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just years of programming. But I mean, I've thought about it too, because all those dudes that were, say 40 back in the 80s, well, maybe not the 80s, but the 90s or the 90s, they're only in their 60s and 70s, but they're all complying, and they're almost the worst ones, right? They're like all there, and I know, right? It's like I don't know.
It's weird, mate.
It's like when we were sleeping, some ray came down and just like bloody brainwashed everyone, and we somehow didn't get it. It's very strange. I don't know. That's why I think this is a time loop thing. I think there's something going like bigger than us.
Happened, mate. Yep, and that's really resonated with me with the reference to Back to the Future Part 2, mate. Like they're showing us there something.
I'll have to watch it again. Is there a good decode of it?
Part 2, mate, where Doc Brown does this little, like, they've just come back to 1984, but it's an alternate 1984 because old Biff.
Is it 1984? Is it the year?
Yeah, yeah, it is too. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. And mate, but when they've come back to this 1984, which they were expecting it to be like they used to, like
the older,
it all changed, and Biff Tannen was now in control and all that.
Yeah,
maybe
you see,
when Donald Trump came in, that's when this flip happened, mate. Because just like in Back to the Future,
this is the other thing, is it's clear that they've gone too early, right? What they're playing out, what they've done in 2 years, even their plans say that was supposed to be done over like a decade.
Yeah.
And because they're going so fast, it's falling apart. People are seeing it. And so I've always thought that they fully believe that Hillary was going to get in, and everything was planned for that, and everything was planned to start when she got in, right? So that we'd be 4 extra years into this or whatever. But for whatever reason, she didn't get in. So yeah, was that a timeline change? Because then we've got the whole story of Project Looking Glass, right? You know, which is a whole nother thing with time travel. And we got, you know, the Mandela effect happening.
Yeah.
Which is getting crazier. Now they've made a Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Full-length movie. Have you seen that?
You've told me about it. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Where did
unbelievable.
They kept that one under wraps for 30 years.
Oh, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's clearly, that can't have been around, because to be part of the Star Trek franchise, you know, even if it was crap, it would be well known, right? And everyone would still have it because it'd still be collector's item.
Well, they could have made money off it, mate. They're not gonna.
Yeah. Weirdness, man.
Wow, bro. Well, mate, I'm unfortunately have to wrap it up, brother.
Yeah, we've got an hour and a half there, so that's probably pretty good.
A good hour and a half, mate, and some great stuff that you've.
Not too much history, but a bit of a chat on current history, I guess, current story.
No, it's good.
And also we had a chat on Spiral Up, so everyone watching, check out my Spiral Up channel. That'll be up.
Oh, have you put that out? Have you, brother?
Not yet, but I'll get it up today. So when this video comes out, it'll be out. So go and check that out, and check out Archaix, ARCHAIX.
Yeah.
And of course, like this video, share it around, and check out my channel, Autodidactic.
Please do. And thanks once again for your time, Mr. Autodidactic.
Oh, thank you.
Always a pleasure, brother. And let's just keep putting it out there and keep doing what we do, because they don't like it. So
no, they don't like it. They don't.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly right. Meme until they cry, then meme about them crying. Let's keep going.
And keep going, mate. That's it, bro. And we'll be flying around that chopper in no time, looking for
the airship. Come on, mate. Airship.
I was going to say just for our airship, for our new history channel.
The
Discovery Channel.
Discovery Channel, the real Discovery Channel.
Real discoveries. Yeah.
Getting there, bloody oath.
To it. So yeah, mate, you have an awesome evening, bro. And
well, cheers, mate. Say hi to the fam.
Yeah, we'll do, brother.
Yep, and I'll talk to you soon.
All the best, my man. You take care, brother.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
Mate. See ya, bro. All right, you have a good one, legend.